Hey, hey, beautiful people. All right, let me make sure that I am live in the right place and that you can hear me. This is, of course, your girl, Valerie Priester, the Master Business Mindset Coach, two female life coaches helping you go from overwhelmed to profits in your coaching business. So today it is time for, of course, our Business by Design. And I'm here and want to talk with you about 4 ways to incorporate the law of abundance in your business. So I want to make sure I'm live on Facebook and that you can see and hear me. If you come in, make sure that you say hello, because of course it's like coming into my living room and not speaking if you don't say hello, right? So make sure that you come in and say hello. And I'm going to do this one today standing up because I've been sitting way too much. And of course, I'm beginning to feel it in my in my bones. So let me make sure that I turn this down. All right, I hope that you can hear me. I'm going to just test this out. Hang on 1 second to make sense. Hi, Laura. Good to see you watching. Please let me know if you can hear and see me clearly. I would love to hear that. Good. Okay, I see a heart going up. Yay, yay, yay. That tells me that you can hear me. Thank you, thank you. Let me know where you are joining me from, Laura. That is wonderful that you're joining me today, and thank you for being here. I'm also going to try to get to a place where I can see comments. There we go. I think I can see you now. Hi, hi, hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to have you here with me. So let's get started. Let's jump right into this. I want to talk to you about 4 ways that you can incorporate the law of abundance into your business. Right now, I know you've heard of the law of attraction. The law of abundance is kind of a relative to it, right? They're different. They're not exactly the same. They're different. The law of attraction, as you may have heard and may know, is it tells you that you attract what you put out, right? Like attracts like. So if you have a positive, outlook on life, a positive attitude, you're going to attract positive people, right? By the same token, if you're carrying a negative attitude and a negative outlook on life, you're going to attract negative people to yourself and negative circumstances, right? That's basically the law of attraction. Whatever you put out, that's what you get back. I like to tell my clients all the time, you cannot plant an apple tree and expect to get oranges, right? So if you plant an apple tree, you're going to get apples. If you plant an orange tree, you're going to get oranges. That's how the law of attraction also works, okay? Law of abundance is it kind of takes the principles of law of attraction and it applies it to the concept of wealth. And the notion of the law of abundance is that you have a belief when you're putting into practice the law of abundance, you have a belief that there is more than enough for everyone. There's more than enough for everyone, right? Sometimes we get stuck in our way of thinking that there's only so much and only so many people can be rich and only so many people can have the wealth or abundance, right, that we're striving to get. And so when you're thinking that way, you're not really practicing the law of abundance. And so I want to help you with 4 simple ways that you can really tap into incorporating the law of abundance in your business and really getting clear on what you are thinking and what you are feeling, what you're believing, all of those things, right? Because if you've been following me, you know that that's kind of my sweet spot. That's really what I deal with. After working with, clients for over a decade, one of the biggest things that I have noticed is it's not so much about not having the right strategy or not having the right marketing strategy or ways of promoting or not having the right funnel and not having all of those pieces. Now those pieces are important when you're talking about growing your business and building a successful business. They're very important, but there's a bigger piece that I have really learned as I work with my clients that holds you back and keeps you from even being able to implement those pieces. right? And that is really your way of thinking. That is really your mindset. That's really your beliefs, right? It's the thoughts that you're having. It's the things that you say to yourself, the conversation that you're having with yourself within your head that tells you either you can't have something, or you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, you're not whatever the enoughness is that you feel like you don't have, right? That's a bigger piece of this puzzle when it comes to building a successful business, not just a successful coaching business, but any business. And let me add this, when it comes to building or creating a successful, joyous, happy, harmonious life, right? All of that goes hand in hand. And so one of the things I always tell my clients is that we cannot separate life and business. They really go hand in hand, because what you will learn, if you haven't already, or what you will discover if you haven't already, is that how you do one thing is how you do all things. And so if you have some misguided beliefs about what's possible for you in business, you'll find that you also have those misguided beliefs about what's possible for you in life, right? They go hand in hand. And so let's talk a little bit more about how do we bring in the law of abundance into our business, okay? So I'm gonna give you 4 simple ways. And this is a practice that I've used, again, a practice that I teach my clients as well, and kind of walk them through to help them really get clear on what's holding them back, right? And so I want you to be able to take these same steps to be able to get to the bottom line of, what is holding me back from abundance? So step number 1 is to ask yourself this question. And you can kind of change this around a little bit if the way I'm going to give it to you doesn't resonate with you or doesn't sit well with you. Change it around a little bit, because success and wealth and abundance and all those things can mean different things to different people. So I'm not trying to convert you into my way of believing or thinking, but you have a vision and you have a deep yearning for what you know is success for you or abundance for you, right? So the question that you want to ask yourself is, why aren't I, or why aren't you already rich, or already abundant, or already successful, right? Ask yourself that question. And when you ask yourself that question, I want you to sit with the feeling that comes up and the thoughts that come up and the things that come up when you ask yourself that question, right? You may find that you're operating under the assumption that, not everybody can have abundance, that there's not enough for everyone. Again, when you're operating under that assumption, then you're not operating in the law of abundance. But I want you to ask yourself that question, and I want you to be really sincere about asking yourself that question and sitting with it and allowing your answers to come to you, right? Allowing your answers to just flow into you. Don't try to force it. Don't try to make it complicated. Just ask, why am I not rich already or successful already, right? Just ask yourself that question. And this is a good question to journal on, right? So when you're asking, sit in silence and journal and write what comes up. What are the answers that come up? And one of the things that you may find is, you may find that a lot of external circumstances may come up as your answers. But if you keep digging deeper, you may find that it's not so much about the external as it is about the internal. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. So once you ask this question, the next step is you want to examine your reasons. What are the answers that you got, right? Look at them and examine what actually came up. Again, if you're exciting, if your answers are more about the external, let's say things like, because I don't have the right software, or I don't have the right funnel, or I don't have enough time, right? I hear that sometimes. I don't have enough time because I'm trying to do 50 different things. I'm working full time and I'm trying to build this business, so I don't have enough time. Those are all external things, right? And you may find that they are the things that come up first. But I want you to, again, dig a little bit deeper and look at the internal things that also come up, because the external things all have solutions. They all have solutions. But you're not able to see those solutions if you're still stuck really deep into the internal things, that are keeping you from moving forward or keeping you from realizing the success that you're looking for, right? So make a note of what is coming up. How did you answer those questions? Because when I say that, the external things all have resolutions, for example, let's look at, I don't have the right software. Well, research more software, right? Research what you really need. Maybe even reach out and get help and have someone to look at what is it that I really need in the way of software, so that that particular reason doesn't stay with you as the block to you reaching the level of success or the abundance that you're looking to reach. Again, not having enough time, if that's coming up, right? Look at how you can really start to track your time and understand where you're spending your time. Because I can almost assure you that most of your time is probably spent with what we call busy work, right? When we are running our businesses or operating our businesses and we get into this habit of busyness and busy work, that kind of replaces the reality that we're really not doing the work that generates real income. But because we're doing all this busy work, we still feel like, oh, I'm running a business, right? And that may be true, but if you're not doing the tasks that really generate income, then you're not reaching the level of abundance that you're looking for or the level of wealth that you're looking for, right? So examine, where am I spending my time? Start tracking your time. You may be surprised. Number 3, always look at the hidden lessons. And the hidden lessons come in the things that didn't work out the way that you planned, right? I don't like to call them failures because I don't believe that there's true failures. I believe that there's always lessons. So look at the lessons that you get when you feel like, these failures are really like things that are happening and they're out of your control, and you can't control them. That's not necessarily true. There's lessons in them, right? And when you look at the lessons and then you're able to do better, because when we know better, we do better. When you're able to do better, then you're able to, again, shift over into what works as opposed to what hasn't worked, and get away from the thinking of this will never work for me, because that's not true. It's just not true, right? And that everybody else can do it, but I can't do it. That, again, is not true. It's not a true statement. It's not a true declaration of what's possible for you. So look for the hidden lessons. For instance, let's say that you had a financial crash, right? Let's say that you lost a lot of money, right? I've been in that situation before where I've tried some things, invested in some things, and lost money, right? Well, I had to do the work to stop looking at it as a failure and start looking to the lesson that was involved in that particular circumstance where I lost money, right? Some of the lessons that I saw was maybe I didn't do enough due diligence. Maybe I didn't do enough investigating to see what is this that I'm really investing in? What am I getting? What will be the return on investment? Maybe I didn't do enough of that. Maybe I got caught up in the rah excitement of, oh my goodness, I'm going to hire this coach or hire this mentor or hire this firm to do this great thing for me, and it's going to lead to abundance of cash and abundance of income. But I didn't stop to really do the hardcore due diligence to find out, what do I have to put in, right? And so my lesson is, I didn't do the due diligence, and then not knowing how much I had to invest of my time and of myself to be able to make this work, of course I didn't end up doing it. Because some cases I didn't have a whole lot of extra time. And then in other cases, it was more than I was willing to do, right? But I was reaching for the pie in the sky. I was following the shiny object and invested without doing my homework, without doing the things that I needed to do in order to make certain that I was going to reap the benefit or get the returns on investment that I was looking for, right? So look for the lessons. Number 4, this is where you put it all together. You look at the answers, you look at the lessons, you look at all the things, and you discover your main internal obstacle. What is the root, the main thing that is holding you back, right? When you do this examination, you're going to notice that there may be a certain theme that comes up through all of the answers that you got from asking yourself the number one question, right? There may be a certain theme that just repeats over and over and over again, and you're able to then see what the root cause is, what the bottom line down deep obstacle that's keeping you stuck, right? That's keeping you from having the abundance that you desire, keeping you from generating the income that you desire, keeping you from building the successful business that you are desiring and that you're praying for and you're asking for, right? There is a root cause. And you may find that it is more internal than it is about the external, right? Sometimes, I hear people say, well, I'm not good with technology. And, in this day and age, we have to be good with technology because a lot of our things are done online now. And that's true. And even in your coaching business, a lot of your coaching business is going to be online. And so I hear people say, I'm afraid of technology, or I don't know technology. It's hard for me to learn technology, right? All of those things, again, are the external. What's beneath that is possibly the fear of learning something new. It's possibly the fear of failing at learning something new, right? Or the fear of looking like you don't know what you're doing, or you're not the expert, or you're not, as intelligent as you want people to think that you are. All of those fears could be the root cause of what's keeping you stuck, and also what keeps you giving out the excuses of why you can't learn something new or why you can't do something a different way, right? So when you really discover the internal obstacle, the root of what is this that's holding me back? What is this that's keeping me from really practicing the law of abundance and incorporating that in my business? What are these thoughts? What are these feelings? What are these emotions? Another thing, that really comes up a lot for us, especially as women, is we get stuck in a lot of emotions. We get stuck in a lot of feelings. And that's so very true, because I still deal with that. I don't think that ever goes away, right? But that's why you have to be surrounded by the right people, right? Your inner circle should be people that support you, that encourage you, right? That inspire you, that help to motivate you to keep you moving forward. Because when you get in those times, you need someone that you can talk that through. You need someone that you can, really be honest and open and transparent and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling. Like today, I'm feeling like I just want to throw in the towel and give it up and not ever do it again, right? You need someone that you can have that real heart-to-heart, honest conversation with, and not feel like you're going to be judged, or not feel like, you're a bad person because you're feeling a certain way, right? Or you're not smart enough because you're feeling a certain way, or any of those things that keep you from really reaching your full potential and being all that you can be, right? So getting to the root, that's the most important thing. So my question to you today is, like, are you struggling with getting to the root of what's really holding you back, or what's really keeping you stuck and keeping you from generating the abundance that you want to generate in your business and even in life, right? Are you struggling with that? And just be honest. If you are, you are, right? But the first step is being honest and acknowledging it, right? I mean, you've heard this a thousand times. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. And so acknowledging that you're stuck there and you're struggling with it and you need help, that's the first step. The next step is getting the help that you need. Just getting the help that you need, saying yes to getting the help that you need, right? So what I've seen over the years is, like, a lot of my clients are all smart. They're all very smart, and they have amazing ideas. And what keeps them from implementing those ideas is this, again, thought pattern of, I can't do it, or I'm not smart enough to do it, or whatever the reasons are that come up, and the story that's being told, that's in their head, that they, put on repeat and play over and over and over and over again. That's what keeps them stuck. So not that you're not smart enough, because you have brilliant ideas. You have, things that you want to implement and ways that you want to help people, but you're stuck in the thought process, in the mindset that I can't do this, that it's too much for me to do, or again, I'm not smart enough to do it, right? Whatever those thoughts are. And so I know that when you discover what those thoughts are and what's really, really holding you back, that's when you're able to start moving forward to create what you really desire, to create the thing that you've been craving, thing that you've been praying for, right? I know what that feels like because I've been there, right? So if that's where you are, I just want to say, I'm your girl. Helping you break through and shift your mindset into really being clear and honest and believing what's possible for you. That's my sweet spot. That's what I help my clients do. That's how they're able to generate 6 and 7 and even 8-figure incomes in their business, because it's shifting your way of thinking and believing about what's possible for you, and really looking at some of the old beliefs that are holding you back, right? Really looking at where they came from, how you're really carrying them, and how they're showing up, not only in your business, but in your life, right? Really getting clear and honest on those things so that you can break through them, so that you can navigate through them, right? It's not to say that you're never going to have a negative thought, because that's not true, right? Experts say we have 50 to 70,000 negative thoughts a day. So you're going to continually have negative thoughts, but learning how to navigate through them and learning how to shift your way of thinking and move more into a growth mindset, which is what I help you to do, right? Is what will help you to really start to create the income and the abundance and the wealth that you really desire in your business. This is what will help you to really start to practice the law of abundance in your business. Right. So again, if you're struggling with any of this, I want to just personally invite you to join us. We have an upcoming challenge, 3-day challenge, From Overwhelmed to Profits, where I'm going to dig deep and talk about these limiting beliefs, these thoughts, these things that are blocking you, the things that are keeping you from really moving forward in your business and creating the income that you want to create, right? We're going to deal with the negative beliefs. We're going to deal with, looking at what's holding you back, and creating your ideal money story, right? Because right now you're carrying a money story that doesn't support you. And so until we dig in and really get clear what that is and what it looks like and how it's showing up, it's impossible for you to change it. So we're going to do that in 3 days, in this 3-day challenge. So I invite you to join me, right? I'm going to help you to shift your thought patterns so that you think positive thoughts about money naturally and not feeling like it's forced, or you're putting forth all this effort to think in a certain way. You're going to think that way naturally. Why? Because you're going to understand your relationship to money. You're going to understand what money story am I carrying, and then we're going to create your new money story, right? We're going to create your new money story. We're going to create some new money habits, money attracting rituals, all of that. I'm going to share my personal rituals with you, right? The things that I do to keep my thought process in the right place, right? And to be able to manifest the income that I'm looking to manifest in my business, right? That I've been using for years now, which has helped me to create a 6-figure business, right? So that's what we're going to help you do in the 3 days of challenge. Here's just a few things that you'll get and you can benefit from joining us in the challenge. Of course, number one, we're going to develop a new growth mindset. I'm going to help you do that. You're going to get daily live lessons from me and actionable tasks that you can take, right? I'm going to provide for you a free journal to kind of help you on this journey. You're going to get coaching from me, right? This is a live challenge that you're able to ask questions and get coaching from me as we move through the 3 days together. There's going to be daily prizes, and they're cash prizes. Woo, woo. Cash prizes. And you get those prizes by participating, doing the homework, right? All the things. You're always going to have instructions on what you need to do in order to qualify to win some of those cash prizes. There is a private Facebook group where you can ask questions, get immediate feedback, right? Build relationships with other female entrepreneurs that are going to join us for this challenge. I'm so super excited about, right? And then, the biggest thing is, again, you get the support, you get the help, you start to dig deep, you start to understand so that you can move away from the negative ways of thinking and move more into alignment with the law of abundance and definitely the law of attraction, right? So join me. I'm super, super looking forward to this challenge. It kicks off on Monday. It's August 1st through August 3rd, and we do it at 6 p.m. Central Time every night. So I think that's 7 p.m. Eastern, right? Purposely did it in the evening because I know a lot of you are still working. And so I want to make sure that you have the time to join me for 3 days of working on really creating the abundant mindset that you need to create a profitable coaching business. So August 1st through the 3rd, I'm going to drop the link in the comments so that you can register and you get a bonus assignment that's juicy, juicy when you register. When you register, there will be a bonus assignment that you'll need to complete, and you'll need to bring your results of that assignment to the challenge. And I am going to help you really, 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 really understand your superpower when it comes to generating the income that you want to generate. All right. So don't forget, register. We start on Monday, August 1st, 3 full days. And again, I'm super, super excited when you join me, because I know you will, when you join me for the challenge. And I'm also super excited about what I know is possible for you when you shift away from the blocks that's keeping you stuck and keeping you from creating the financial success that you're looking for. I know what's possible for you. And it excites me just to even think about it, because I've seen it happen over and over again. I've seen the doors open. I've seen the blocks just fall away when my clients work with me on making this important shift in your way of thinking, right? So, Tina, good to see you. So join me 3 full days, 3 full days from Overwhelmed to Profit, 3-day challenge. Again, we're going to focus on looking at what are your limiting beliefs, what's blocking you. We're going to create your new money story. I'm going to help you to really understand your relationship to money and why you're not attracting the abundance that you want, and then how to do that, right? So join me for those 3 days, August 1st through the 3rd. Monday, we get started. I'll drop the link. Make sure you register. Guys, remember this. I always say designing your victory is a choice, and you get to start today. And how you get to start today is by taking inspired, intentional action. And that inspired, intentional action should be you registering to join me for the 3-day challenge coming up on Monday, starting on Monday. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, we're here every Thursday for Business by Design at 12 noon Central Time. We will see you next week, but I want to see you in the challenge. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great, great day. I will drop the link, Katina, so that you can sign up. I definitely will be excited to have you there. I miss you. I really miss you. So I'll drop the link in the comments so that you guys can sign up right away and see me on Monday and join me on Monday. All right. Great. Have an amazing rest of your day, guys. Take care. Bye.